This video tutorial is the secret to balancing an object. So we have a staff here. This is one of the easiest things to balance. It's very hard to balance small things. It's a lot easier with taller things, different centers of gravity and stuff. If you want to balance an object, the most important bit of knowledge that you need is where to focus your eyes on. And the answer is at the very, very top of that object that you're trying to balance. If you watch the very top of the object that you're trying to balance, then you'll see if it starts going that way, you can move your hand underneath, and if it starts going that way, you can move your hand underneath. Most people try watching the bit at the bottom, but as you can see, if this was to fall all the way over to here, or all the way towards the camera, or wherever, the bit at the bottom really doesn't tell your brain any useful information at all. The bit at the top tells you everything you need to know. So that's the big secret to balancing an object. Focus on the top and just make tiny, tiny movements to correct. So, you can balance a staff. Most people don't have a staff though. Peacock feathers are meant to be fairly easy to balance. They're just very hard to get hold of in the first place. You normally have to just do a Google search, because you can't just nip down the local safari park. They won't give you their peacock feathers anymore due to health and safety. But they're a good place to start. The thing I most balance with in my act, other than balancing myself on a roller bowler or a unicycle, is a spinning plate. Once again, you're watching the bit at the very, very top. That happens to be the bit where the stick touches the plate, and that lets you do all sorts of balance. You can balance on your hand. That's normally the first thing a beginner would do. You can practice it on your fingers. You can move from finger to finger using your thumb. And then maybe you can try it on your chin. You can't spin it on your head as such, because if it's up there, you've got no way of seeing where the top is, so it's likely to fall. But the chin still lets you focus on the very top of the plate. And now I need to stop talking for the big finale. Hurrah! These are one of the hardest things in the world to balance. They have a very low centre of gravity, and in fact, the British Young Juggler of the Year Best Trick competition just a few years ago was won by someone out doing a 7-ball cascade and 5 clubs and all the other thing. It was won just by someone balancing this on their chin or on their nose and lying down and standing back up again. So, bigger is definitely better and also looks more impressive to most people out there. Most people wouldn't be impressed if you balanced a teaspoon on your nose, even if it was the most difficult trick in the world. But people can be impressed by big tall things like brooms and brushes and staffs. Thank you.